And of course, the last is not least. Did you really think you would have a whole series about reading a book from the public domain and leave out Gogi, the angry literary goo-girl? Try again. Try again. Old-timey and outdated as Dracula could be, it is written like poetry in the prose, isn't it? I feel so. Well, we all know the drill, so go ahead, sign your consent form, drink your fairy wine, and lay in my arms. Gravity and chemistry will do the rest. Dracula by Bram Stoker. Yes, human, look into my eyes. Lay back and let the fairy wine take over. Let the fog fill your mind like a thick and unyielding mist. Yes, fall, human, fall till you land somewhere in the Carpathians.
The Diary of Jonathan Harker, 3rd of May, 1885. At last, my long journey is drawing to its close.
I began to rub my eyes and pinch myself to see if I were awake. It all seemed like a horrible nightmare to me, and I expected that I should suddenly awake and find myself at home with the dawn struggling in through the windows, as I had now and again felt in the morning after a day of overwork. But my flesh answered the pinching test, and my eyes were not to be deceived. I was indeed awake and among the Carpathians. All I could do now was to be patient and to wait the coming of morning. Just as I had come to the conclusion, I heard a heavy step approaching behind the great door, and saw through the chinks the gleam of a coming light. Then there was the sound of rattling chains and the clanking of massive bolts drawn back. A key was turned with a loud grating noise of long disuse, and the great door swung back. Within stood a tall old man, clean-shaven save for a long white mustache, and clad in black from head to foot, without a single speck of color about him anywhere.
What the eventual end will be, I cannot foresee. But whatever may happen, I can rest secure that I will have done all in my power to achieve success. The castle appeared innocuous enough in the warm afternoon sun, and all seemed normal, but for one thing. There were no birds singing. As I crossed the wooden bridge and entered the gateway, it suddenly seemed to become much colder.
He held in his hand an antique silver lamp, in which the flame burned without chimney or globe of any kind, throwing long, quivering shadows as it flickered in the draught of the open door. The old man motioned me in with his right hand, with a courtly gesture, saying in excellent English, but with a strange intonation, "Welcome to my house. Enter freely and of your own will." He made no motion of stepping to meet me, but stood like a statue, as though his gesture of welcome had fixed him into stone. The instant, however, that I had stepped over the threshold, he moved impulsively forward, and holding out his hand, grasped mine with a strength which made me wince, an effect which was not lessened by the fact that it seemed as cold as ice, more like the hand of a dead man than a living one. Again, he said, "Welcome to my house. Come freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring."
Mr. Harker, I'm glad that you've arrived safely.
Count Dracula.
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house.
The strength of the handshake was so much akin to that which I had noticed in the driver, whose face I had not seen, that for a moment I doubted if it were not the same person to whom I was speaking. So to make sure, I said interrogatively, "Count Dracula?" He bowed in a courtly way as he replied, "I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome, Mr. Harker, to my house. Come in, the night air is chill, and you must need to eat and rest." As he was speaking, he put the lamp on a bracket on the wall, and stepping out, took my luggage. He had carried it in before I could forestall him. I protested, but he insisted. "Nay, sir, you are my guest. It is late, and my people are not available. Let me see to your comfort myself." He insisted on carrying my traps along the passage, and then up a great winding stair, and along another great passage, on whose stone floor our steps rang heavily. At the end of this he threw open a heavy door, and I rejoiced to see within a well-lit room, in which a table was spread for supper, and on whose mighty hearth a great fire of logs, freshly replenished, flamed and flared. The Count halted, putting down my bags, closed the door, crossing the room, opened another door, which led into a small, octagonal room lit by a single lamp, and seemingly without a window of any sort. Passing through this, he opened another door, and motioned me to enter. It was a welcome sight, for here was a great room well lighted and warmed with another log fire, also added to but lately, for the top logs were fresh, which sent a hollow roar up the wide chimney. The Count himself left my luggage inside and withdrew, saying before he closed the door, "You will need, after your journey, to refresh yourself by making your toilet." Stop laughing. "I trust you will find all you wish." Stop laughing. "When you are ready, come into the other room where you will find your supper prepared." The light and the warmth and the Count's courteous welcome seemed to have dissipated all my doubts and fears. Are you having doubts and fears right now, sweetie? I'm sure you are. Keep relaxing. Having then reached my normal state, I discovered that I was half famished with hunger. I know how that feels. So making a hasty toilet, don't laugh, I went into the other room. I found supper already laid out. Ooh, relatable. My host, who stood on one side of the great fireplace, leaning against the stonework, made a graceful wave of his hand to the table and said,
Is there anything else you require, Mr. Harker?
No, I don't think so. You've been very kind.
On the contrary, it is entirely my privilege.
"I pray you be seated and sup how you please. You will, I trust, excuse me that I do not join you, but that I have dined already, and I do not sup."
I consider myself fortunate to have found such a distinguished scholar to act as my librarian.
I handed to him the sealed letter which Mr. Hawkins had entrusted to me. He opened it and read it gravely. Then, with a charming smile, he handed it to me to read. One passage of it, at least, gave me a thrill of pleasure. I must regret that an attack of gout, from which malady I am a constant sufferer, forbids absolutely any traveling on my part for some time to come. But I am happy to say I can send a sufficient substitute, one in whom I have every possible confidence. He is a young man, full of energy and talent in his own way, and of a very faithful disposition. He is discreet and silent, and has grown into manhood in my service. He shall be ready to attend on you when you will during his stay, and shall take your instructions in all matters. The Count himself came forward and took off the cover of a dish, and I fell to at once on an excellent roast chicken. This with some cheese and a salad, and a bottle of old Tokay, of which I had 2 glasses, was my supper. During the time I was eating it, the Count asked me many questions as to my journey, and I told him by degrees all I had experienced. By the time I had finished my supper, and by my host's desire had drawn up a chair by the fire and began to smoke a cigar which he offered me, at the same time excusing himself that he did not smoke. By the way, everyone, do not smoke, it's very bad for you. Carrying on. I had now an opportunity of observing him. I found him a very marked physiognomy. His face was a very strong, aquiline, with high bridge of the thin nose and peculiarly arched nostrils, with lofty domed forehead, and hair growing scantly around the temples, but profuse elsewhere. His eyebrows were massive, almost meeting over the nose, and with bushy hair that seemed to curl in its own profusion. The mouth, so far as I could see it under the heavy mustache, was fixed and rather cruel-looking, with peculiarly sharp white teeth. Those protruded over the lips, whose remarkable readiness showed astonishing vitality in a man of his years. For the rest, his ears were pale, and at the tops extremely pointed. The chin was broad and strong, and the cheeks firm, though thin. The general effect was one of extraordinary pallor. Hitherto I had noticed on the back of his hands, as they lay on his knees in the firelight, they seemed rather white and fine, but seeing them now close to me, I could not but notice that they were rather coarse, broad, with squat fingers. Strange to say, they were hairs in the center of the palm. Don't laugh. The nails were long and fine, and cut to a sharp point. As the Count leaned over me, and his hands touched me, I could not repress a shudder. It may have been his breath was rank, but a horrible feeling of nausea came over me, which, do what I would, I could not conceal. The Count, evidently noticing it, drew back, and with a grim sort of smile which showed more than he had yet done his protuberant teeth, sat himself down again on his own side of the fireplace. We were both silent for a while, and as I looked toward the window, I saw the first dim streak of coming dawn. There seemed a strange stillness over everything, but as I listened, I heard, as if from down below in the valley, the howling of many wolves. The Count's eyes gleamed, and he said, "Listen to them. The children of the night.
Children of the night.
What music they make."
What music they make.
I have become a victim of Dracula and the woman in his power. It may be that I am doomed to be one of them. that is so, I can only pray that whoever finds my body will possess the knowledge to do what is necessary to release my soul.
All right, wakey, wakey. Out of your sea of wonders. Was that good? It seems as if, actually, the hurricane is over. Yes, the hurricane is over, and we'll all have some kind of normalcy again starting on Friday. This was nice, I admit. I'm starting to get a little too attached to these humans. Oh, I guess that's part of the process of our little rituals, or rather my little rituals. Oh, either way, I don't feel so inclined to get up and leave right now. I think I'll just stay here for just a minute longer. Don't worry that your arm is caught in my shoulder completely. Yes, let's just dream of the night until we are rudely awakened by the morning. Hey, y'all, it's Marsha O'Hare with Nightmare Public Broadcasting, here to see whether or not you're feeling good, 'cause you got some marks on your neck there. The people always making us feel good are Zemo, Rocco, the Logosamancer, Aya Fjutla, Yokathul, Fops, P-Dove, Spriggs, Ordinary Hairman 038, Michael Avery, Pingley, Justin Organic Emerald, Sam Myers, and Jackson Daniel 42. If you want to make Nightmare Public Broadcasting feel extra good, then why not become a patron today and get access to the craziest shit on planet Earth? You can also support the channel by ordering a commission or 10. Just email belladonnaasmr13@gmail.com and we could work out something funky. Now, y'all stay safe out there. Keep garlic close by. And make sure to be wary if you see Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee at your window tonight. Till next time. Bye! Pippin, you did a great job with that audio mix, and Lord have mercy, you deserve like an Oscar, girl. Good job, Pippin. Yes. Yes, everyone say good job, Pippin. She did a good job. You're the best, Pippin.